Seniors, if you applied for admission to colleges and universities using the early action or early decision process and receive a decision letter from your top choice college that says your application for admission has been deferred and will be considered with the regular admission applicants in the upcoming spring, you shouldn't give up hope. Deferred does not mean you are entirely rejected for admission. It merely means your application will be given full consideration a second time in the next round of application evaluations, along with the students who applied using the regular decision process. Therefore, if you are deferred for admission at your favorite college and still want to attend that school, you should try to improve your chances for getting accepted during the regular admission process by taking the following recommended steps. First, call the admissions counselor handling your file at the college from which you were deferred. Have your common application ID number ready to give to that college admission counselor. When talking with the college admission counselor, be very respectful and polite and say you received notice of your deferment and are very disappointed, but that college is still your first choice and you are still very interested in attending. Ask if there is any particular reason for your application being deferred. If there is, work to improve that weakness. For example, if you're told your letters of recommendation were not that strong, ask for an additional letter of recommendation from a teacher whose class you did exceptionally well in this fall semester and who has not already submitted a letter of recommendation on your behalf. If the admission counselor you speak with is reluctant to give you a specific reason for your deferment, politely ask if you will have a realistic chance for admission, because if there is, you will work to that end. Also, ask the admission counselor if there is any sort of ranking of deferred students, and if so, what ranking your application was assigned. I say this because some colleges assign rankings to deferred applications for the probability of those deferred students being accepted under the regular admission process. Ask if there is anything you can do or information you can provide to help the college admissions office make a positive decision about your acceptance to the college during the regular decision process. During the phone call, you should be upbeat and your voice should be enthusiastic. You should express no anger or depression in your voice. However, please keep in mind that contacting the admission officers to show interest is a good action to take, but contacting admission counselors through email and phone calls a dozen times or so makes you more of a pest than an interested student, and that will not help your position with the college. Second, you should follow up the phone call with an email to the college admissions counselor you spoke with, and again emphasize how that college is your first choice, why it is your first choice, and that you will attend if accepted. In the email, you should also address any of the reasons the counselor told you why your application was deferred. For example, again, if your letters of recommendation were not that strong, say that you have already asked a teacher or another adult to write an additional letter of recommendation on your behalf, and that additional letter of recommendation will be submitted in the next few weeks. Also, describe any new accomplishments not included in your original college application and provide full description of those accomplishments. You should highlight any awards or special recognition you received recently. You should end the email with an enthusiastic explanation of what assets you bring to the college campus community and your eagerness to enroll. This email must be sent as soon as possible after your phone call. Third, consider asking your high school counselor to call the same admissions counselor. Have the high school counselor tell the admissions counselor how that school is your number one choice and it's all that you talk about. Have the high school counselor describe your unique talents and skills and how you will be a wonderful addition to the college student community. Fourth, regardless of what the admission counselor tells you on the phone, consider submitting an additional letter of recommendation from an adult recommender who has not already provided a letter of recommendation. This would include another teacher or supervisor at the organization with you volunteer, or some other adult who knows your strong work ethic and enthusiasm. Fifth, if you previously contacted a professor or alumnus associated with that college, such as someone you talked with during a campus visit, you should email or phone that person to ask for advice and help. Let that person know that you've been deferred at that college, but that college is still your top choice, and you plan to send additional information to help with your consideration for admission. Ask that person if he or she has any suggestions that may help with your admission to that college. Be sure to thank this professor or alumnus for their help, and if you feel comfortable and confident with that person, ask if he or she would mind putting in a good word for you with the admissions office. Sixth, in mid-January, call the same college admission counselor you spoke with over the phone to verify your email was received. Tell the admission counselor that you are calling to make sure the email was received, and again provide a brief verbal summary of your recent accomplishments and continued strong desire to attend that college. Ask if there is any other information the admission counselor would like to help with their positive decision about your acceptance. Seventh, in early February, again contact the college admission counselor by mailing a letter, not an email, outlining any recent accomplishments. I recommend to send a paper letter mailed using the U.S. mail because it should have more of an impact than an ordinary email. However, if you're not comfortable with using the U.S. mail, it would be appropriate to send an email. Share the fact that you have been accepted to other colleges and universities of the same caliber or greater than the college you're trying to gain acceptance to, but that the admission counselor's college is still your top choice school. Finally, eighth, 2 weeks after you mail the early February letter, call the admission counselor again to make sure your letter was received and briefly summarize your recent accomplishments and express your keen interest in attending that college. Also mention how you remain hopeful to receive a positive decision for admission to that college and how you very much look forward to enrolling next fall.